review and a 5-star rating on your favorite podcast app. So with that being said, Cassie, I think it's time to get into this topic. We are going to discuss grandparents today. Now, Cassie, unfortunately, my family situation is a little different than most people's, I think, because by the time I was born, 3 out of the 4 of my grandparents had already passed away. So both of my mother's parents I never had the opportunity to meet, and also my father's dad, my dad's dad, had passed away before I was born. So I really only knew one of my grandparents, which was my paternal grandmother, who I called Nana, my Nana. And I knew my Nana pretty well. She has passed away now, unfortunately, but she lived until I was a teenager, so I knew my Nana pretty well. Cassie, what about you? Did you have a relationship with your grandparents, or do you have a relationship with your grandparents? Are they still around?
Yes,
I have a really close relationship with my maternal grandmother, who, funnily, we call her Bear. Bear. Yes. Why Bear?
There was a kids book.
Do you know the Care Bears? Yeah, of course. The Care Bears cartoon and animated series. Yes.
So we originally
called, when it was just my sister and I, we called our grandma Gram. But we were the oldest cousins. When our youngest cousin came around, they read this book and they saw a bear in there called the Grand Bear. And for some reason, they liked calling her Bear better than Gram, and it stuck. So now everybody calls her Bear. Cassie, actually, you just sort of hinted about something that I think is interesting in English-speaking places, and that is that there are several names that we can use to call our grandparents. Of course, I don't think too many families call their grandma Bear. That's kind of a cute and unique thing that's special to your family. But as I mentioned, I called my dad's mom Nana, and I think what a lot of families do is they will have different names for each of their grandmas, so that the kids can keep them separate, right? Because if you just say grandma and you have 2 grandmas, then it can often be a little bit confusing. Like, which one are you talking about? So a lot of families will use other words like Nana, Papa, Grandma, Grandpa, Granny,
My
Grammy,
great-grandmother was
Nanny.
very tiny, so we called her
Little Grandma. Little Grandma.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are different names that we can use to call our grandparents. So Cassie, you told me before we started recording that you saw your grandparents recently. Could you tell us a little bit about what your visit was like with
So
them?
I'm actually
I'm actually visiting my entire family right now. Cousins, grandparents, sisters, but one person in particular was really special. It was my maternal grandfather. He actually divorced my grandma like way before I was born. But they decided that, they really wanted to keep a connection for their child and their grandchildren. So he's always been a part of my life, but I haven't seen him in 5 years since I first came to Korea. My grandma, my Nana, like I said, I knew her until I was a teenager. However, the last several years of her life were a little bit rough. Unfortunately, she was ill and quite old and fragile. So I'm wondering about your grandparents. What's their condition like? Are they healthy?
Great question.
My
friends were really
jealous of this growing up because my grandparents are super young. They had my mom when they were 18. Wow. So they are only like 72 or 3 right now? Okay, just a little bit older than my parents actually.
That's what my friends
always say. My grandma trained well before COVID. She traveled all around the world. My grandfather drove 13 hours in a day to get here to see me for a day and a half.
Wow.
He's dedicated.
Well,
he probably really missed you if he hadn't seen you for 5 years. That's right, but that's really cool about him is most of my family are Yankees. Yankees are people that live in the northern part of the USA.
Okay.
But my grandfather is a southerner, and he has a special kind of accent, Andrew.
Where is
Where
he
is he from exactly down south?
He's from Arkansas.
He's from Arkansas. Okay. The home of Bill Clinton. He's the only other person from Arkansas who I know of. Cassie, what does your grandpa talk like? Because I know that the southern accent is kind of unique. Could you maybe give an imitation of how your grandpa speaks?
Yeah, maybe
he will say, I reckon I'm gonna head down to the corner store and pick up a cup of Joe.
I reckon.
What does that mean? I reckon.
I think,
or
I'll probably do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a cup
A
of
cup
Joe
of Joe is a cup of coffee, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
he loves to play his
guitar, which is a guitar. Yeah. The southern accent to guitar, a little different
stress on the first
a
syllable.
little different stress on the
your
first
grandpa's
syllable.
Guitar player.
Guitar player then.
Amazing.
If any of our listeners know Elvis Presley or Johnny Cash, my grandfather sounds just like them.
Really?
Really?
That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that style of music, that kind of 1950s American country folk sound, a little bit of rock and roll thrown in as well. That's a really cool sound. So did your grandpa bring his guitar and play for you?
Yes, he
did.
Wow.
I was so excited and I didn't realize how much I missed it. But Andrew, he was 2 songs in and I just started bawling. Like tears running down my cheeks. It was so nostalgic. My heart just burst hearing it. It was beautiful.
What song did he play?
What song did he play? First, he played all my favorite Johnny Cash songs. First, one played Prison and Ring of Fire. But there's one song that holds a special place in my heart. He wrote a song for me and my sister when we were young.
Wow.
Okay. And it's about us. Wow.
So
is that the one that really tugged on your heartstrings and got the waterworks going? I was crying way before that, but my sister joined in when her verse was sung.
Now, Cassie,
you were really on the ball, and you didn't know that we were going to do this for the podcast, but you actually recorded some of your grandfather's guitar playing, and you're kind enough to share it with our audience. So we're going to play a little clip here of your grandfather playing guitar and singing, and we'll take a listen to that right now. See her smile, black and white, little lassie, that's my Cassie. That's my Cassie. Full of my eye, up and down. Little lassie, that's my Cassie. Wow.
Wow, Cassie, you were right.
You're right. Your grandpa sounds awesome. I'm almost tearing up again.
Well, Cassie, unfortunately, growing up, I
didn't have the same kind of a relationship that you have with your grandparents just because my grandparents weren't around. Of course, I heard lots of stories about my grandparents, and I think they sounded like super interesting people. My mom's dad, my maternal grandpa, he was Scottish from Scotland. However, he immigrated to Canada and also lived in the USA for a little while. He was in the Navy during World War II and fought in the war. He was a jack of all trades, and apparently he was really handy. He was an engineer. He had a hobby of raising chinchillas and selling chinchillas. He sounded like a pretty eccentric, kind of interesting individual, so it's a bummer that I never got to meet him. And the same goes for my other grandparents as well that I never got to meet. However, I had some other family members. I have an aunt on my dad's side, actually my dad's only sister, who is, I think, 11 or 12 years older than my dad. She is such a fantastic person in my life, my aunt. And although she's not really like grandma age for me, she was like the kind of grandma figure in my life. I think she really stepped up and filled that grandma kind of the role. Although I never called her grandma or anything like that, I think she kind of played the role for me as an older relative that I'm really close to. So I'm super thankful to my aunt and also her husband, my uncle. They kind of stepped in and provided like a grandma-grandpa like relationship in my life. We did lots of fun things when we were kids. They would take us camping and we'd be spending time at their house. I'm still really close with them today. Listeners, don't worry. It's not like I missed out on this kind of grandparent-grandchild relationship. I think I had a really close relationship with my other family members that filled that missing spot. Yeah, it's total opposite for me, Andrew. Only had one that you saw closely. I think I have, 6. I don't know how common it is in Canada to divorce and remarry, but it's very common here in the US. I've had grandparents just hop in the family train throughout the years.
Yeah,
that's really interesting. Well, my Nana, who I mentioned earlier, she was actually divorced, and I had a kind of step-grandpa growing up as well. Although I was very close with him, I did have a kind of step-grandfather for a little while there when I was growing up. So, same thing happened in my family, Cassie. Andrew, one thing I actually think about when I think of grandparents is I think about the future because you hear scientists or doctors saying that our lifespans are getting longer, and I can just imagine a couple of generations from now maybe everybody will have like 12 grandparents or something because people will be living longer and have your grandparents, grandparents. It could be really different in a couple generations.
Yeah,
that's fascinating to think about. I know that in my family, in my immediate family, we seem to have children very late in life, which is why I think my grandparents already passed away by the time I was born, because my mom was 34 or 35 when she had me, so that's later in life. I'm 37, I don't have any children, so if I do have children, then it will be late age as well. And that's just kind of how my family does things. However, I have a cousin, and his side of the family is much different. They seem to have kids when they're young, and that cousin on his mom's side of the family, which isn't connected to my family through a blood relationship, that side of his family has children very young, and he actually has a grandma and a great-grandma. So there are 4 generations on that side of the family. And yeah, Cassie, I can only imagine medical technology develops even further, and we have new scientific breakthroughs and longevity. Maybe 250 or 200 years becomes a reality. Then we are going to have to great-grandma, great-great-great-grandmas, great-great-great-grandmas. Family gatherings like Thanksgiving and Christmas, they're gonna be crazy. There's going to too many people.
You'd be surprised though, Andrew, because I
feel like people are having fewer and fewer children. So, it might be the same amount of people, just more and more generations, but who knows?
We will finish
We'll
things
here. So thank you for listening, everyone. We hope you learned a lot with this episode today.
Once again, our website is culips.com.